Easy breezy to the outside. In the gate, and they're off. Max and Lou is the first one out of the gate. Targarius now up to take the lead, and Mutt Dillon matches stride. So these two have sped clear of Max and Lou, who will track from third. Then it's Dirty Words fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Down at the rail, it's Lord Dunmore, easy breezy outside of them, and My Box of Light is the trailer. Mutt Dillon sprints clear past the half-mile pole. 2-length lead on Targarius in second. Then Lord Dunmore inching closer along the rail, followed by Dirty Words, Max and Lou in between rivals. My Box of Light is getting going from behind now, just 5 lengths off the lead, and 3 clear of Easy Breezy. Targarius takes the lead away from Mutt Dillon at the top of the stretch. Behind them, Lord Dunmore 4 lengths back in third. Down at the rail, My Box of Light. In the center of the course is Dirty Words. It's Targarius with a furlong left to go, spurting clear by 3. Lord Dunmore takes up the chase on the outside of Mutt Dillon and Dirty Words. Targarius breezing along through the stretch, makes short work of the competition. 4 lengths clear. Lord Dunmore second best, Dirty Words and Mutt Dillon. And they're off. Nice start for Handsome Ticket from the inside. He will battle for the early lead with Jerry's Spirit in third. They're followed at the rail by Mr. Disrespectful. A gap of 5 to Zombo Bumbo. And at the back of the field is Trotsky. Half-mile left to go. Jerry's Spirit has a narrow lead. Handsome Ticket comfortable and right there with him in second. 2.5 more to Pratchett third, followed by Mr. Disrespectful, who's now hard-ridden fourth, 4 lengths off the dueling leaders, Zombo Bombo and Trotsky. Handsome Ticket and Jerry's Spirit. These two have sped away from the field. They've put 5 or more now on Pratchett in third. Down at the rail comes Mr. Disrespectful and Zombo Bombo there at the top of the stretch. Handsome Ticket on the inside and Jerry's Spirit. Jerry's Spirit's in front. 4 back, Mr. Disrespectful is gathering some late momentum as Jerry's Spirit gets the upper hand on Handsome Ticket. On the outside, Mr. Disrespectful is coming. Jerry's Spirit, Mr. Disrespectful. Jerry's Spirit holds on. Mr. Disrespectful ran very well in defeat. Handsome Ticket finished third. We're in the gate. And they're off. Perfect start. Gem Mine, Long May She Reign. These are the first 2 out of the gate. Ready, Jet, Go, third in the opening stages. Headed for Ohm, moves through to take that third spot. Miss McWhinney is far back early. It's Long May She Reign, clearing off to the half-mile pole, has a 2-length lead on Gem Mine. Then Headed for Ohm in the green silks, trying to get off that rail, just 4 lengths off the lead. Ready, Jet, Go is next, and Miss McWhinney continues at the back into the far turn. Long May She Reign, almost 3 lengths in front of Gem Mine second. Then Headed for Ohm and Ready, Jet, Go. 3 lengths back, Miss McWhinney. Approaching the quarter pole, Long May She Reign has been loose on the front end, has a 2.5 length lead on Gem Mine second. Miss McWhinney is getting underway. She's coming very wide but closing stoutly. Headed for Rome in front of her in the final 1/8 of a mile. Long May She Reign, 3-length lead. Gem Mine couldn't get to her. Miss McWhinney continues to motor home, moves into second and is just flying but out of time. Long May She Reign all the way. Miss McWhinney, game and defeat. Gem Mine headed for Rome. And they're off. Madame Gazelle and Broadway Tiger are the first two out of the gate. Just behind them, La Popise third, Morning Addiction a close-up fourth. Then it's Grateful Attitude and Point and Shoot trails. Broadway Tiger will take them to the half-mile pole just in front. The favorite, Morning Addiction, goes to press second. Three more, Grateful Attitude. Madame Gazelle losing ground. La Popise between those two. Point and Shoot wide and last into the far turn. It is Broadway Tiger narrowly in front. Opens it up again to 3/4 of a length. Morning Addiction called on second. Another three back to Grateful Attitude. Then comes Madame Gazelle, followed by La Popise. Point and Shoot is trailed throughout. 1/4 mile to go. Broadway Tiger and Morning Addiction. Morning Addiction on the outside and Broadway Tiger turn for home 1-2. Morning Addiction is just in front, coming to the 8th pole. 3 lengths behind them, Grateful Attitude and Madame Gazelle coming back for more. Coming to the 16th pole, and Morning Addiction puts away Broadway Tiger as Madame Gazelle rallies on the outside into second. Morning Addiction too strong. Morning Addiction wins by 3. Madame Gazelle was second. Broadway Tiger and Grateful Attitude. Sorrento Sky, the last two. Going in. And they're off. Sorrento Sky, very quick away from there. Fast Buck hustled hard for early speed, too. Just in behind them comes Unconquerable Keen moving into third. Tigeron is down at the rail and See Through It at the back of the field. Past the half-mile pole, Fast Buck is the quickest, pressed by Sorrento Sky. 2 more, Tigeron getting closer along the inside of Unconquerable Keen, and See Through It has 5 to make up as they round the far turn. It's Fast Buck and Sorrento Sky continuing to do battle on the front end. 2 more, Unconquerable Keen. Tigeron tucked in at the rail, and See Through It is trailed throughout. They're at the top of the stretch, and Sorrento Sky's just in front of Fast Buck. Behind them, Unconquerable Keen is in third. 16th pole, Sorrento Sky, a half length at the rail. Fast Buck is as tough as nails. He's coming right back for more. It's going to get close. Here's the line photo finish. Very tight. Sorrento Sky and Fast Buck, Unconquerable Keen third. We're in the gate. And they're off. Very awkward start for Uncle Doosan. Very lucky the rider stayed aboard. He is hopelessly beaten. 6 hot grands rockets out of the gate and goes straight to the front. Not My Rodeo has good early speed, and in between them, Get 'em Dusty. Those 3 vie for command. They're followed by Sean's Jazz and Lurking Fear Extreme outside. Galloping Major. Updraft is next, and at least 20 to Uncle Doosan. Around the far turn, and it's 6 hot grands showing the way. Has it a half length to Get 'em Dusty in second. Now it's a full length on that rival. Not My Rodeo is in third. Lurking Fear inching up on the outside, takes the third spot, and is coming after 6 hot grands, who's trying to shake loose with a 1/4 mile to go. 6 hot grands, Get 'em Dusty a length back second. Another 3 back to Lurking Fear in third. The others well out of it. They're a furlong from the finish. 6 hot grands, Get 'em Dusty now takes over and opens up 2. 6 hot grands is second. Lurking Fear third. Belated rally from Updraft. It will be Get 'em Dusty. Get 'em Dusty wins it by 4 lengths. 6 hot grands a good second. Lurking Fear third. Updraft fourth. In the gate, and they're off. Very smooth beginning for Feel the Magic, who will go right to take the lead. Stepbrother Austin came away with some early foot, but backs off now. And in between horses, here's Sandbagger moving up to be a joint second as they link up with the main course. Black as My Heart is now racing in third. Down at the rail, Crazy Cavalier. And Travail is fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. The two trailers, Stepbrother Austin and Maxville, is at the back of the field. So it's the favorite Feel the Magic in charge. Cruising along with a 3-length edge. Crazy Cavalier takes up the chase on the inside of Sandbagger. They're followed by Travail, Black as My Heart, Maxville, and Stepbrother Austin. Midway on the far turn, Feel the Magic leads at a length and a half. Sandbagger reclaims second. At the rail, Crazy Cavalier needs to find racing room, also needs to pick it up from there as Feel the Magic turns for home and tries to finish the job now. Feel the Magic opens up 3. Crazy Cavalier and Sandbagger have been chasing the entire journey. They're inside the 8th pole. Feel the Magic's lead is 2.5 lengths to Crazy Cavalier. It's Feel the Magic, Crazy Cavalier getting a little closer. Feel the Magic all the way. Another second for Crazy Cavalier. Sandbagger third, Travail was fourth. We're in the gate. And they're off. Icy Mischief gets the first call out of the gate. Here's Candy in the Morning, flashing that natural zip. And in behind them, Respect the Crown comes away in third. That group is followed by Happy Chappy, Tiger Eyes at the rail. That pair passed now by Spread the Risk. And Lakmara guided off the rail trails. Candy in the Morning, the leader, pursued by Icy Mischief past a half-mile pole. It's 2 more lengths, Respect the Crown and Spread the Risk are right together. And then Happy Chappy fifth, 4 off the lead. Lakmara is next. Tiger Eyes far back, 3 furlongs remain. 4 of them vying for command. Candy in the Morning fending him off thus far, but just by a nose. Icy Mischief right up alongside, and Icy Mischief is up to take the lead with a 1/4 mile to go. Outside comes Respect the Crown firing a big shot. These two 1-2 now as they reach the top of the stretch. Icy Mischief, Respect the Crown a half length back in second, then Spread the Risk. Happy Chappy is next. They're in the final furlong. Icy Mischief, Respect the Crown. Icy Mischief just in front. Respect the Crown is a half length behind. Icy Mischief or Respect the Crown. Icy Mischief gets there. Respect the Crown, second best. Spread the Risk was third. Photo for fourth between Candy in the Morning and Lakmara. And they're off in the baffle. And Triple Diamonds broke out smoothly. So did Freedom's Not Free, and he's up to take the lead. So it's Freedom's Not Free just in front. Style Cat is in the mix through the opening stages. FOMO Joe is in between horses, and Triple Diamonds 4 right across the course. Then it's Maximus, followed by Scipio in between rivals, just 3 lengths off the lead. Game Warrior at the back. It's a very compact group that is led by Style Cat narrowly. FOMO Joe right up alongside in second with less than a half mile to travel. And down at the rail, here's Triple Diamonds. Triple Diamonds now on even terms with Style Cat, their heads apart. FOMO Joe 2 back third. Game Warrior is down at the rail. Freedom's Not Free is rushed up aggressively. He's coming with a wide bid. Scipio behind a wall of horses as the field turns for home. Freedom's Not Free has gone to the front at the top of the stretch. Scipio has clear sailing. Freedom's Not Free lugging in a bit. And here comes Scipio, just handwritten, gliding right on by. And it's Scipio and Flavian Pratt pulling away for a most impressive win in the baffle. Photo for second. That's extremely close between an oncoming Game Warrior and Freedom's Not Free. FOMO Joe was fourth. 3, $85.20. We look forward to seeing out here. Be the last one to load. Walks in calmly. They're in the gate, and they're off. Footnote is out alertly, so is Lila out in the center of the course. Here's Pura Vida Princessa now up to take the lead. In the center of the course, it's Innovative. Watershed Moment is widest of all as they pass the stands for the first time. So it will be Pura Vida Princess to show the way. Watershed Moment second, Innovative on the outside of Lila. Then comes Dandy Vandy, who's 5th and 6 lengths off the lead. It's another 3 back to Calmate, who's settled in the early stages, some 10 lengths off the pace. Footnote is second to last, and McKenna Rita some 15 lengths off Pura Vida Princessa, who has scampered clear to lead it by 4 lengths. Lila in hand second. Watershed Moment is just outside of her. Innovative is 4th, already 10 lengths off them. It's another 4 back to Dandy Vandy. Then another 3 back to Calmate and the Purple Silks. It's a strung out field. Footnote still second to last, and McKenna Rita is close to 25 lengths off front running Pura Vida Princessa, and Antonio Fresu bounding along on the front end, pursued intently, however, by Lila and Kyle Frey, closing in now from second. Dandy Vandy moves up to claim third in the lime colors as they round the far turn. Calmate still has plenty of ground to make up as they head toward the quarter pole. Pura Vida Princessa just in front of Lila. Dandy Vandy is in third, and then comes Calmate, 4th, 7 lengths off the lead, making steady headway on the new leader, Lila. Lila takes the lead at the top of the stretch. Dandy Vandy is closing. Just behind them, Calmate is starting to warm into the race and is closing after Lila. Opts to come inside, does Calmate and Flavien Prat. It is Lila or Calmate. Lila just in front. Calmate's trying to get her on the money. Lila, Calmate, Calmate. Another for Flavien Prat. Perfectly timed to beat Lila. Then it was a long way back to Footnote in third. 4th was between Pura Vida Princessa and Dandy Vandy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special Holiday Monday card of racing here at Sandy. We've got a good 10-race card, and we've got the perfect person to analyze it for us. He's currently the morning line odds maker here at Sandy, but he's got a plethora of other responsibilities that he does as well. His name, Jeff Siegel. Jeff, happy Monday. Welcome to the seminar.
Good to see you. A plethora.
A plethora. That's a big word to kick off the seminar with, but nevertheless, you are a busy man. You've even got the PPs in front of you, not only for today, but I'm sure also for Friday, because you've got to do the morning line for that.
Well, not only that, but I had to do these morning lines so far in advance. I was asked coming in who my best bet was. I was walking in from the parking lot, and I said, I don't even remember who's running.
Correct.
Because I did all this work like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Monday from last week.
It's all a blur.
It's a blur, but I do it, and then I bring my sheets out, and I remember who's running.
And then you've got the revised morning line with all the last-minute scratches as well to deal with.
That's in the morning because we only scratch once now, and that's the morning of the race. So sometimes I have to redo the thing like 4 or 5 times because I think there were scratches out of 5 races today. So I got to send that out. I tweet out the morning line corrections because when you get a 2-to-1 shot or a 5-to-2 shot scratching, the whole line is obsolete.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
But I got enough notes on my paper here. I think I'll be okay.
You're an encyclopedia of racing, Jeff, and of course, as we get closer to the month of March, the main topic for most horse players is who are the best 3-year-olds around the country leading up to both the San Diego Derby and the Kentucky Derby. And in my opinion, 2 of them reside in the Bob Baffert barn. One would be Citizen Bull, who won the Robert B. Lewis earlier this month. He was the Eclipse Award winner as well. Your thoughts both on Citizen Bull's performance in the Robert B. Lewis, but maybe more importantly, going forward in the stronger and farther races?
Well, here's the thing about him. He's a good horse, okay? Really good horse. But he hasn't done anything that he hasn't already done, which is to say, make a lead, get easy fractions over a track that's kind to speed, and then keep on going. We know he can do that. But what happens if he gets hooked early? We haven't seen that yet, and maybe he'll never get hooked. Maybe he'll get lucky that
Maybe
way.
He's just that good.
Maybe he is, but he's been able to establish his own running. And I'll give you a real quick example of this. East Avenue won 2 races last year, won the Breeders' Futurity by a pull, but he won wire to wire. So in his Breeders' Cup, he stumbled real bad. He had no chance, but he got behind horses he didn't run. Is he indeed the lead type, or can he overcome adversity? And
he ran this past Saturday at Fairgrounds, and I think we know the answer to that story.
Ran horrible because he didn't make the lead.
Correct.
You know? So sometimes horses will run their best and maybe better than they're capable of running if they get that kind of pristine controlling speed type of trip. And we don't know if Bob's horse can do that.
And Andy Beyer wrote about that in his books, right? Any horse that gets a big Beyer speed figure that doesn't face any adversity, you have to be skeptical of. Again, not to knock Citizen Bull, but we've seen it time and time again throughout the history books.
See, the thing about Citizen Bull is that he's been able to establish the pace but not have to go fast. It's one thing to go wire to wire and go 45 and change and 9 and change. That's great. That's fine because you're running everybody off their feet. But if they're handing you a 24, 47, and 4.5, you're not doing anything that a lot of horses couldn't do, given that same circumstance. I want to see Citizen Bull overcome some adversity. So far, he hasn't had to do that. It's not his fault, but I want to see him do it before I concede anything to him.
Pool number 4, the Kentucky Derby Future Wagers, closed this past weekend, and the betting choice was all other betting interests, which of course is always the betting favorite. But the second choice in the long list of potential Derby runners was Barnes, also from the Bob Baffert barn. Before we ask you about Barnes, Jeff, I want to take a look at Barnes' most recent workout. This was on February 11th, right here at St. Anita. That's Barnes on the outside, and his workmate down on the inside is Dothraki. Now, the most important thing to take a look at is the final time. These horses are moving along, 58 and change, but just looking at the physical presence of Barnes, he's a beautiful colt. You can see he's much bigger in stature than Dothraki. The exercise rider is not asking him at all. I don't know if you saw this workout, Jeff. I kind of pulled it out as a surprise, but basically what happens is they both kind of hit the wire together, much to my surprise, because Dothraki isn't much of a horse. He's kind of what I would consider maybe part of the C or C plus team for the Baffert barn. He just has a maiden special weight victory to his credit. But Barnes couldn't get by, which a little bit surprised me. Again, the exercise rider's not asking him, but just generally speaking, both based on this workout and maybe based off past performances, what do you think of Barnes?
Well, first of all, a workout isn't a race, okay? I'm sure they were told to stay together. I was a little surprised that Barnes came off the bridle a little bit going into the clubhouse train, and that's my issue with Barnes. Not that he's not a good horse. He is. My issue with him is he doesn't really look like a classic Derby horse. He's more of a tank, you know.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how far he really is going to want to run. Now, he may surprise me and go a mile and a quarter. I want to see him go 2 turns and go a mile and 16th, mile and 8th first. That's my concern with him, as opposed to a colt like, for example, Journalism.
Sure.
And this is a colt, tall, lanky.
From the Michael McCarthy.
Tall, lanky, rangy, classic type built colt. He'll run all
around 2 turns.
Yeah. So he's to me, if I had to choose one of the entire group in California right now, who would go to Kentucky, not necessarily here at Santa Anita, but in Kentucky, he would have the best chance, I think, of staying the trip, which is half the battle.
We've always got an excellent chance of finding winners when we've got Jeff Siegel as our seminar guest. We're going to find out who Jeff likes on today's 10-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the aforementioned scratches that are on today's card. We'll be right back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast and the turf firm. Rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, scratch number 7, West is West. The first starts the early pick 5. No changes in race number 2. In the third, scratch number 4, Maxwell St. Blues. Race 4 has a middle pick 4 offered. In the fifth, we start the $2 pick 6, scratch 4, See Her Beauty, and scratch number 5, Zaffarana. Number 1, Pocaralis, £1 over. Race 6 starts the late pick 5 and the all-turf pick 3. No changes. In the 7th, scratch number 1, Effective Gig. Race 8, scratch number 5, No Poking Around. In the 9th, scratch 4, Sensational ZZ. Number 8, Riverside Rose, 3 over. And in the 10th, William Anton Georgi rides the 9, Master Jacques, scratch 12, 13, and 14. Super high 5 offered on the 10th. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. They'll be at the gate for the opener in 57 minutes at 12:30. Back to Quigley's Corner, where his special guest today is Jeff Siegel, morning line odds maker at Santa Anita Park.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Jeff Siegel. He's the morning line odds maker right here at Santa Anita. You can also find his selections on a daily basis right on the SantaAnita.com website, absolutely free of charge. He puts in the work, that's certainly obvious, and he does the morning line. Jeff, let's take a look at today's 10-race card, kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. We're 1 mile on the turf course. The rails today are at 10 feet. This race is for maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for an $80,000 tag. 1 scratch of the 7, West is West. Take note, number 1, Spun Not Stirred, is a first-time gelding. You made the morning line favorite, number 4, Unrivaled Hero at 8-5. However, the betting public at the moment is making Tariff, number 3, the runner drawn right inside, the 6-5 favorite. Flavia in the saddle, Peter. And let's just talk about, you're trying to predict what the public's going to do. And who knows if just one person made this crazy bet to make this horse basically odds on early on. But are you surprised that Tariff's the current betting choice?
No, because it's really early, 55 minutes. There's hardly any money in the pool. I don't know what the actual percentage is, but someone told me that 70% of the win pool is bet in the last 5 minutes or something.
I believe that. I actually do believe that.
So
everyone wants to bet late.
They don't take it seriously until they want to see what the odds are, So, I look at Tariff, and it was 64 to 1 last time, 35 to 1 last time. Now, granted, he's dropping in class, but he's never been close. I mean, that to me is a reaction to 3 things: Lasix, blinkers, and Flavian Pratt.
Sure.
Regardless if the horse can run or not. And
you're skeptical.
I'm a little bit. I mean, see, here's another thing that I do as a morning line maker, because I think the fans do it too. I start with Mark Glatt and then work backwards from there.
Or Bob Baffert in a dirt race.
Well, that's different. Yeah,
Right.
that's obvious. But, I mean, Glatt is just such a terrific trainer, and he's got an unrivaled hero. Even though he's raising him from maiden 50 to maiden 80, he did finish second last time. Numbers-wise, he's very competitive. He looks like a horse that's competitive, and improving. So I think that he's going to be shorter than 9-2, and I don't think Tariff's going to be 6-5. They might be very close at the end, but these are maiden claimers to me are the toughest races for me to handicap or to make a morning line, because traditionally there's not that much bet in the pool, and somebody can really bounce the board if they want to.
And you're asking them to do something they've never done, which is win a race in their life.
Correct. That's another problem. So the other races, the allowance races, the stakes races, they almost price themselves.
Sure.
You know. But here you get a lot of change. I went with Unrivaled Hero. He's run well. I know what he is. And what he is isn't great, but it's good enough to beat most of these. I don't know what Tariff can do. This is a horse that obviously was they'd spent $120,000 for him as a baby. They had some high hopes for him. They've done him 4 times. They're finally giving up. It looks to me like they're just beating Peter Urton, just kind of trying anything. Drop them, put blinkers on, put Lasix, see if I can get Pratt, see if this horse can run. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. So I don't think it's necessarily what Tariff's done that's causing the money. It's everything else that is an add-on type of thing.
And to complicate the handicapping process, Jeff, on paper, at least there appears to be no early speed, which also adds to the handicapping puzzle.
You know who might have a chance in here, and I don't know what his price. He's 5-2. It's where he should be, a Smiling Tizzy.
Sprint to route.
Not only he's got the classic 2 sprints in a route, he's dropping from maiden to maiden claiming, and he's got sprint Meyer numbers that are good enough to win. So all he has to do is run route long as well as he runs short, and he's probably going to win the race.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're on the main track. 1 mile is the distance. $20,000 claiming tag. The non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Field of 5. Number 5, Saltwater Cowboy. First off the claim for Anthony Saavedra is the 8-5 Moyer Lane favorite. According to you, give us your analysis of race 2, Jeff.
Looks like this is a colt that should be forwardly placed in a race that's not going to have any pace at all. If they want to send him, they probably could get over, or at worst, sit second behind Always on K, because again, there's a 5-runner field. The outside post is not only not going to hurt him, but it might actually help him, because he can Vresu can actually pick a spot and dictate where he wants to be. Again, first off the claim, low profile but capable outfit. And I think he's the kind of horse that, at least on his best day, he's got good solid numbers. He should run well. Again, not a real high confidence type of race. So.
You also give a little love on the graphic for your second choice, Jeff, to number 3, Lone Scout, trained by Bob Hess. And that's my question for you. Do you take into account hot trainers at the moment? In other words, we've seen Mark Glatt, Bob Hess, Dean Pedersen all get off to a really good start. Do you incorporate that into your morning line at all?
I do, because the public does. Mm-hmm. And if I see a trainer, like I mentioned Mark Glatt, but there are others that win at a very high percentage, they're going to get play whether the horse deserves to or not. Bob Baffert's run some maidens here that have been bet way over bet because he's Bob Baffert and they gave a lot of money for him. But in watching the workouts, 2 things. They're not that good. And number 2 is they're going to get hammered anyway. So you have to really incorporate, maybe more so here than anywhere that I've been, the trainer factor, sure.
And you make a great point. It's not really your opinion. It's your opinion of what the betting public is going to do.
That's the tough part for me, because forever I was trying to beat the favorite, going for price horses, trying to find horses that weren't being played or weren't going to get played. Now it's like going from a prosecutor to a defense attorney. It's the complete opposite mindset. And I got to be honest, it was harder to start thinking that way when I first started the job, because my reaction would be to still be a handicapper. I'm not handicapping the races. I might lay a horse 2-1 favorite and hate him.
Sure.
But the public's going to bet him, so I got to put him 2-1.
Absolutely. Race number 3, we're sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for maiden claimings, fillies and mares, in for a $20,000 tag. 1 scratch the 4. Maxwell Street Blues leaves us with a field of 5. Number 3, Coastal Cowgirl from the aforementioned Mark Glatt barn is the 6-5 Moyer Lane favorite. You also made a fair 9-5, indicating that maybe it's just a 2-horse race. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think so. Coastal Cowgirl is coming out of a maiden to a 20, which doesn't bother me because she's 4 years old and you got to get real sometimes, right? If she were a younger horse and they were already giving up on her, I wouldn't like it. She also was a half length off a 22 flat and 44-2 opening half mile pole, a quarter and a half early fraction. and that's going to probably clear this field. So what she's been facing, even though her beat and lengths look pretty ugly on the form, this is a whole different concept. And I think the pace players are going to look at her and say, well, isn't she going to be 5 in front? Probably. If not, she's certainly not going to have to go 44-2. And then to add, add to the end of it, it's Mark Latz. So, he wins with these kinds of horses, by the way. I don't care how far they get a beat, but if they get bet, they usually run to their wager.
Most recently, he's winning at a 31% win clip, according to the daily racing form, taking the drop down from maiden special weight into maiden claimants. Yeah. Certainly, as you've articulated, Coastal Cowgirl will be the betting choice come post time. Whether or not she's good enough to win is really up to the horse herself.
Affair is not terrible. She can, if for some reason Coastal Cowgirls is nothing but cheap speed, and if she proves that that's the case, then Affair's got a couple of 66 buyer numbers. That's probably good enough to win a normal race like this.
On today's 10-race card, Sandy offers a 50-cent milled pick 4, which kicks off in race number 4. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the flat turf course. It's a starter optional claiming race for 3-year-old fillies, field of 7. Number 7, Prime and Ready from the Richie Baltas Flavian Pratt team are the 8-5 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 4, Jeff.
Well, both these fillies, Prime and Ready and Spotted Haze, both broke their maiden and maiden claimer last time out. They both earned identical 59 buyer numbers. Spotted Haze did it in a breeze, but Prime and Ready has come back and breezed very well at San Luis Rey, and she stalked, pounced, and went. You know how that is, whereas Spotted Haze opened up 3 lengths before they.
It's like we were talking about earlier with
she got loose in the lead, and Prime and Ready is going to be breathing down her neck every step of the way. So I made them 8-5, 9-5. They're close because I don't know how good Spotted Haze is because she won for fun, beat nothing though, and got a soft trip. Whereas Prime and Ready won with authority, so they're close. But I went with the stalker, Prime and Ready, because she'll have Spotted Haze in her sight, and then go from there. And the other thing is Prime and Ready did win on grass, and Spotted Haze won on the dirt, so that's the edge that I gave to the bottom horse.
Race number 5 begins the $2 pick 6, and we kick off the pick 6 in race 5, going 1 mile on the main track for fillies and mares. It's a starter optional claiming restricted race for fillies and mares. 2 scratches. Scratch the 4 and the 5 leaves us with a field of 6. The runner on the bottom, number 8, Gray Frost, is the 7-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, just a general question for you. We've got a lot of new faces in town with these Northern California horses now running at San Anita. How difficult or how much of a challenge is it for you to make a morning line for these type of races?
It really is, and that's where I really lean on the trainer, the Tim McCannas of the world.
Sure.
They'll eventually establish their form here, but a lot of these horses, they didn't run in Pleasant, and they ran a Golden Gate. That's all weather, so who the heck knows?
And San Anita is a much deeper and tiring surface. We all know that as well. And a lot of these horses are not even working out in the morning over the San Anita main track.
The good news, though, is they're running against their peers, so to speak.
Correct.
A lot of these races are just for Pleasanton horses, so they don't have to worry about that. But eventually, they're going to integrate into the mainstream, and then it's going to be a little easier. But it's hard. I was really flying blind,
all of us are, not just you, but all of us.
But in this race, I picked Gray Frost because she freaked and won by a pole last time out and earned a career top buyer number. So we obviously know she handles the track. She's also got a good tactical speed. She's in the 8-hole, but she's not really in the 8-hole because there's 2 scratches, so she's not going to be parked out. And the pace situation looks soft. So I think she might get the same kind of trip that she got last time, which would be good enough to win. So if she doesn't go backwards, I think Gray Frost, not only do I think she's a likely winner, but she's a likely short price.
Race number 6 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. And we kick off both wagers in race 6, sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for the typical starter allowance race. Started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less and have never won 3 races. Field of 8 here. Number 8, Rexford, is a 3-1 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Jeff, wanted to pull up a replay that 3 of these runners exit, specifically Caribbean King on the inside and Rexford on the outside. They both competed against each other back on January 16th. In the replay we're about to watch, Caribbean King is going to be breaking from the rail post position number 1, and Rexford will be wearing saddlecloth number 7 under the Little Red Feather Racing Silks. Let's take a look at both of them perform. Rexford wearing saddlecloth number 7 and Caribbean King breaking from the rail, and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
They're off. Neon Lights is out very alertly. On the outside comes Invincible, showing some speed too. Here's Blue Cheese Olive moving up in between rivals to be a part of the early pace. As they run down the back stretch, Yakolev is at the back of the field, some 6 lengths off the leader. It is Neon Lights, the leader, 3/4 of a length to Blue Cheese Olive. Tequila Talkin' is in third. Then comes Invincible fourth, Caribbean King racing inside Rexford, and Yakolev still at the back. Rounding the turn in, Neon Lights leads a length and a half. 3 of them chasing in the joint second spot as Caribbean King scoots through inside Blue Cheese Olive and Invincible. Tequila Talkin' has dropped out of it. Rexford widest of all, and then Yakolev. They turn for home. Neon Lights, stablemate Caribbean King on the attack in second. Yakolev angles out for the drive, and Rexford in the center of the course. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Caribbean King takes the lead. Yakolev in hot pursuit, as is Rexford on the outside, and Yakolev takes the lead and is full of run close to home. Yakolev, another for Reese.
Jeff, as usual, Flavien Prat gave Caribbean King a perfect ride, breaking from the rail post position, still finished third. Rexford was caught 3 wide pretty much in the entire trip, still battled gamely to the wire. You made Rexford the favorite here. I have a feeling that replay was one of the reasons why.
Well, I tell you the truth, this is the hardest race of the day for me because I could like and not like certain things about every contender here.
And thus the 3-1 morning line.
Yeah, exactly. When I make a 3-1 morning line, it means, number one, I don't have a clue who's going to win, and number two is I don't have a clue who's going to be favored.
Sure.
Because, again, I looked at Rexford, and Rexford is the kind of horse, he's run how many times? 15 times? 2 wins and 8 seconds and thirds. And he got to that horse. He was wide, but there was no real punch the last part of the race, and that's why Rexford likes to run second and third more. Yet he's outside. He's coming out of a solid race. He has won on the course, which is good. So I put him on top, but very, very tentative at 3-1. You've got other horses. I mean, Caribbean King, I thought, got through. He's another horse who likes to run second and third more than he likes to win. Player B is another horse that will look like he's going to win, but doesn't. And then Schwarzmeyer looks like he wants to win, but isn't quite up to this level yet, but he may get there, and he may even get here. So those are the 4 main contenders. If I had to bet on the race and really, even though I have Rexford as the morning lane favorite, I think Schwarzmeyer might have a little bit more in him than the others in terms
more
of
upside,
more potential, and maybe a more willingness to win too. So, and he might be a better price. So I think those are the contenders, and I wouldn't be surprised if any one of those 4 would win.
The field sizes start to get deep, starting in race number 7, which begins the 50-cent late pick 4. All these multi-race wagers, in my opinion, are going to pay well today. We kick off the 50-cent late pick 4 in race number 7, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. It's a restricted claiming race for $5,000, primarily restricted to those horses running up in Northern California. The conditions are not won a race since January 17th or have never won 4 races lifetime. Scratch the Whale leaves us with a field of 9. Morning line favorite number 7, Running Ute from the D. Wayne Baker barn. Talk about a head scratcher, Jeff. This was a real head scratcher for me.
Well, I made this pick morning line before Utah beat Kansas. Otherwise it would have been a slam dunk. But Running Ute is he ran off some nice races at Pleasanton on the dirt. Last time out, maybe pitched a little bit too high, and probably belongs where he is here on this circuit, 8,000. So, I mean, he's a fairly, consistent horse. I don't know how sound he is, but he should run well here. He should be right where you want him to be, right behind the leaders outside in a good spot. So I made him 5-2. Again, this is Bobby's alibi. I think he'll run well, but he doesn't have any gate speed, tactical speed. I fear he's going to have to come from too far back. He's another horse that, you can put him second or third without expecting him to win, but he's one of several that has a chance. So my bucket list, I put him in there too because he's got numbers that make him a little bit of a chance. I'm going to go with Running Ute. Hopefully he runs back to his best race, and if he does that, he's the best horse in the field. Another
full field participates in race number 8, which begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. This race will be run 6.5 furlongs in the flat turf course for allowance optional claiming Calbred 3-year-old. Scratch the 5, no poking around, leaves us with a field of 10. Number 4, Cali Cat from the John Sadler barn is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Jeff, 4 of these runners in today's field exit the same race. This race was back on January 19th. Runners that we're going to be watching the replay for include Frank Bullitt, Cali Cat, as well as Binging and one other runner, Mr. Machu Picchu. There's 2 runners in this replay that I want you to watch. The 2 runners that I want you to watch are going to be breaking from post positions number 5 in this replay. That'll be Cali Cat, as well as number 7, Binging. Of the 2, I thought Binging actually had a very difficult trip. It's a little bit subtle, so watch Binging's performance breaking from post position number 7, but watch Cali Cat's performance breaking from post position number 5 as well, back on January 19th. Let's listen to Frank Miramonte describe the action.
We're in the gate. And they're off. Binging broke alertly. So did Mr. Machu Picchu on the outside. And they're joined now by Frank Bullitt. And here's Frank Bullitt coming through to take over. Triple Diamonds is in the mix early, just a length and a half off the lead. Down at the rail, Winds of Freedom. Whiskey in a Teacup is widest of all. Binging, who broke well, is now in mid-pack, right on the inside of Panuco. Behind them, Cali Cat, just a very slight steady, 5 lengths clear of El Maga. And at the back of the field is Gray Power. Strung out into the far turn, and they have to catch Frank Bullitt into the far turn. He's in front by 2. Mr. Machu Picchu second. At the rail, Winds of Freedom a close-up third. Panuco has lost some ground while wide in fourth. Binging between rivals, moves up, takes the 4th spot. Then comes Triple Diamonds and Cali Cat in the green looking for a spot. They're at the top of the stretch. Frank Bullitt, 2-length lead. Mr. Machu Picchu running a good race, cutting into the margin and right to him at the furlong pole. Just in behind them, here's Cali Cat, though, and Cali Cat gets breathing room and storms home on the outside. Getting involved is Triple Diamonds. Triple Diamonds or Cali Cat. Cali Cat, Triple Diamonds, Cali Cat. Triple Diamonds. Outfinished Cali Cat.
Tough beat if you had Cali Cat, Jeff, because Triple Diamonds from the Mark Glatbar nailed him on the wire. Unfortunately, I'm going to proclaim right now that my long shot play of the day, Jeff, today later on for the pick 6 sequence is going to be number 9, Binging. If you're a serious horse player, go back and watch the head-on replay for Binging in that replay we just showed. There was a lot of trouble that Mario Gutierrez had that particular day. He still got within a length and a quarter of Cali Cat, who we just saw perform in that replay. Now switches over to Ricky Gonzalez at a big 12-1 price, but Cali Cat is certainly one of many formidable contenders in this race, Jeff.
It is an interesting race because you've got several coming out of the same race, and then you've got a great angle for me anyway, and that's the route the sprint play. And you see that with King of Dragons, who has never actually sprinted, but he's by Sir Prancelot, 4 races at a mile. I think he might actually be better around one turn because he can lay back and then have that blast home. So I like him actually as a gamble, although I did make the favorite Cali Cat because he was just beating the nose in the same spot, and Pratt rides him back, and that's going to attract money. And so he's tough. The horse that you like certainly is as good a gamble as there is in the race. If you want something out of that race, I'm looking elsewhere. I'm looking for the turn back in trips. So I'm going with King of Dragons. And, the other horse that got him, I think is going to also react better around one turn, maybe a late threat. It's a great gambling race because if you have a conviction, you're going to get a decent price.
And race number 9 is another good betting race, primarily because it begins the $5 late daily double with, again, a reduced 15% takeout. Race 9, we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for a restricted 3-year-old fillies in for a $12,500 tag. Scratch the 4, Sensational ZZ leaves us with a field of 7. Number 7, Robbins Tough Love from the Steve Miotti barn, another hot barn, is the 5-2 Maury Line favorite. Talk to us about race 9, Jeff.
Well, one thing I noticed here at Santa Anita is that trouble gets overbet. Sometimes it should get overbet. Sometimes it's overbet when it really should.
Obvious trouble.
And Robin Tough Love, if you watched her first race, she had a ton of trouble, all of it self-caused, by the way. But she broke it bad. She was lagged. She turned into the stretch. She looked like she was going to run on and go by everybody. She leaned in and straightened out, looked at the grandstand, did everything but run. But she still managed to win. Now, hopefully, this race, she'll get the benefit of the experience. And if she does, I think she's a better filly than Care for Autism and Autism Inspiration, who are going to get plenty of play as well.
Race number 10 closes out a terrific 10-race card and closes out the week. Keep in mind, live racing resumes here at Santa Anita on Friday. We'll offer 9 races beginning at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. But first things first, race number 10 will offer $1 super high 5 wagering. This race is 1 mile on the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred 3-year-olds. Scratch the also eligibles. 12, 13, and 14 will not compete. Make the jockey number 9, William Anton Georgie. Morning line favorite, according to you, is Sabretooth, dropping out of much tougher races than this maiden special maiden special weight race today. Easy for me to say. Jeff, one more replay to watch before we get your thoughts on race 10. This replay is back from January 18th. It's going to be the first race. It's a sprint race. And of course, today we're running 2 turns. The runner I want you to watch is going to be breaking from post position number 3. That's Shapoval. Shapoval is now making a second start for trainer Jeff Mullins. You'll see breaking out of the gate that the horse kind of jumps the dirt on the backside as the turf course continues. He actually finishes full of run. We'll watch the gallop out as well. So focus your attention on Shapoval, who's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 3. And let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
And they're off. Lord Dunmore out very quickly. So is 3 George's Flashing Speed. These 2 hook up right away. Just in behind them comes Horizon Wildcat racing in between horses, only 2 lengths off the pace, and Fix It Quick in the orange colors is not far behind. Shapoval settles in mid-pack with 6 to make up, 2 clear of Milbo Baggins. Giant Luther is next, and it's a long, long way to Twilight Time, who trails. Less than a half mile to go, and Lord Dunmore is pressed by 3 Georges into the turn, with Horizon Wildcat 2 lengths back in third, and Fix It Quick racing in 4, now 4 lengths off the lead. Then comes Shapoval, who's racing along the inside, now 7 lengths off the pace with less than 3 furlongs to run. Milbo Baggins on the outside, and another 2 to Giant Luther there at the top of the stretch. 3 Georges. Lord Dunmore joined on the outside by Horizon Wildcat, who's his own worst enemy. Just needs to straighten up, does Horizon Wildcat. He and 3 Georges go on with it. Horizon Wildcat, 3 Georges, head and head for the wire. Horizon Wildcat on the outside, just in front. Here's the line. Photo finish. It's too close.
Jeff, as we watch the gallop out here, number 3, Shapoval, you'll see quickly catches up to the leaders here with Tyler Bays in the saddle. And also, number 5, the runner wearing saddlecloth number 5 is Fix It Quick, who's also in today's race. So certainly it looks like maybe the extension to 2 turns will help those 2 runners. But Sabretooth is a tough customer if he runs back to some of his previous races.
First time Pratt, first time Lasix for Sabretooth, and he has run some good races. He's not the handiest of horses, tends to get in some trouble, but I do think that he's really going to have to have a bad trip to lose this one. Now, your point on Shapoval is well taken. I thought he ran really well. I made him second choice. He's got upside that the others don't have. The only problem I have with I don't think that was a great race he comes out of. I will find out in due time. I think, though, he will step forward, but whether or not he can step forward to be at the level of what we know Sabretooth is capable of doing, that's an if for me. I just think that because of the Pratt situation, the first time Lasix, and the fact that he ran well in the stakes and has run well in stakes, it's going to make him pretty short, maybe shorter than the 95 that I made him.
Jeff, you love horse racing, that's obvious, but you also love college hoops, and Coach Mick Cronin for the UCLA Bruins is going for his 500th career victory tomorrow against the Minnesota Golden Gophers at Pauley Pavilion. A, will they beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers? And B, will they get a berth in the NC2A college tournament?
Well, yes and yes, and I don't think Mick will be too happy if the answer
Either one was no.
No, yeah, for sure. He runs under the Del Mar group, so he loves the horses. He owns them. In fact, I bet on that filly yesterday that I thought could
Pura
win.
Vida Princess.
Yeah, and she looked good to the quarter pole, and then here come the closers. So I hope Mick has better luck, not only with the Gophers, but with the Buckeyes next week on the road trip to Purdue and Northwestern, and then the tournament. And of course, SC, I don't want to throw them out. But yeah, I'm going to be back for the Big Ten tournament, so I can't wait to get there, and I hope we get a good seed.
It's a new world. The Big Ten tournament with the Pac-12 teams will be in Indianapolis, Indiana this year. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. More importantly, Jeff, thanks for your time and insight. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. You make everything here possible. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us when any program scratches. Enjoy Dollar Day here on track at Santa Anita. Best of luck this afternoon. We'll see you again on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park on a beautiful day in Southern California. The track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. We are fast and firm with the rail on the turf at 10 feet.